back for your daily dose of dragon feather. We are in bed today with the shades because I don't feel that good today. So because it's one of those days, we're here with the shades. But anyway, I have no mouth and I'm a scream. Thanks for joining the live. Glad to have you here. I like the shirt. It's okay to be okay. Yeah, it's okay. With a smiley face. Yeah, this one. It's actually my boyfriend's shirt. He gave it to me because when I don't feel good, sometimes I like to sleep in his clothes, and so he gave me this shirt. So leave a like on the live for my boyfriend giving me his shirt to be comfortable in because it's okay. And also on topic for today, we're kind of doing our little hangout session before we start the chat of the live today. But the cool part is that it's okay if you fall into the category of why your witchcraft, your spells, and your magic suck. Major dookie. Okay? Syrian, hey, hi, hello, welcome to the live. Glad to have you here. Welcome everybody else who's watching and just joining in. We are going to talk about why your witchcraft, your spells, and your magic suck major dookie today, and why they're not working. Warning, you can't get offended, okay? Because I gave you a warning. It's in the title. So you can't get offended. That's like, it like abstains me, right? Right? You can't like cancel me now, right? For speaking mad facts? Okay, cool. Good to know. So we have Rayquaza Charizard here. I also have a drink. I am drinking an Alani. I probably should not be drinking an Alani, but I'm drinking one because I have a lot of work to do today and I have to be in bed. So guess what that means? That means I need energy to not fall asleep, and that's why we're drinking the Alani, but it's fine. Hey, Eddie's Funhouse, I still love you. Thanks for joining live. Glad to have you here. I'm still drinking the Alani, and we're gonna get started here in about a couple of minutes, so thanks for hanging out with us. So in that time, go ahead and grab a snack, grab a drink, grab anything you want. Maybe you're doing your makeup, maybe you're hanging out, maybe you're playing some video games, maybe you're just listening to me driving from point A to point B, because this has come to my attention that some people use this as kind of like a podcast as a part of their day. Honored. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you are somebody who enjoys my live streams, the Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. Oh no, we're losing him. We're losing him. We're gonna grab him in a second, but thank you guys so much for choosing to spend some of your day with me today. Cheers to the hatchlings. You guys are the coolest kids on the block, and I'm gonna help you guys make sure that all of you here watching today, you're gonna get a little step ahead of anyone else, because I've never shared these tips before. So get excited. These are some exclusive tips that I have learned, and I have been gatekeeping in my practice for a long time. It's true. I have not shared these things before on the channel. I've hinted a little bit about it, but a huge spoiler alert for today's video. My practice is heavily influenced by dragons, and specifically today, we're talking about how angelic dragons are a huge part of that, but it is not the focus of today's stuff. It's just my like personal background of practicing witchcraft and magic. But if you're new here to the chat, if you're new here to the channel, hello, my name is Azura. I have been posting videos here on Magick ever since I was a whole 12 or 13 years old. Way back in the day, I think in 2012, I started posting videos here before thoughts on P. Diddy, Macklemore. That's my thoughts on P. Diddy. So cheers to Macklemore. And right now, back on topic, I'm super excited because I have been practicing witchcraft for many, many years. We are pushing almost 20 years, so 2 decades I've been practicing witchcraft, a little bit longer than I've been working with dragons. But today we're going to be talking about specifically working with witchcraft, specifically with working with spells, and specifically with working with magic, and why all of those 3 things in your practice and your craft may or may not be working out for you. And if you are new to the path or the practice of witchcraft or spell casting or raising magical energy or the craft of magic, then this is kind of like a crash course in that. So leave a like on the live, and I hope you're excited. So I'm gonna start sharing these secrets here pretty quickly. I'm kind of excited. This is really exciting. I haven't done like an actual like solid witchcraft video, you guys, in a very long time. So this is gonna be a good one, and we might have to take a little break here and there just because I'm not feeling the best, but cheers. After this, we are jumping right on in, so let's go. Okay, so here you are. Excuse me. Here you are in your life. You have stumbled across witchcraft, you've stumbled across spellcasting and magic. Maybe you don't even know if magic is real. Maybe you just like Harry Potter, or you discovered like, I don't know, like some sort of anime that has like witchcraft and magic in it, and you're like, I need this to be a real thing, okay? What's happening for you? All right, and then here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. You're like maybe even one of those people who's been practicing for a while, but like you haven't really felt like it's made sense to you. Maybe you feel still slightly disconnected from your craft. Maybe your spells don't work out. Maybe the magic that you've raised has like worked, but like have given you different results that like don't make sense. And excuse me, I am drinking a carbonated beverage, so if I have to do a little moment of that, that's that. Excuse me again. But if your like spells in your witchcraft is just kind of like feels like there could be a little bit more oomph to it, like maybe something is not working the best for you, like this is what we're focusing on. I'm focusing on you guys today, so leave a like on the live for that. Isnator, hey, hi, hello, so good to see you. Thanks for joining the live. I hope you are excited. Today we are here with Rayquarzard to talk about why your witchcraft and your spell casting and your magic might not be working very well and is kind of actually sucks. Big pile of shiz. Hey, I like your glasses. Looking pretty. Oh, thanks, Ben. Thanks for joining the live. Charizard, actually Rayquaza, Charizard fake Pokemon. We call him Rayquarzard. Some of you guys like it when I call him Retarzard because I say it on accident. It's a long story, but today is not the live to expand upon that. Watch a dragon live if you want to learn more about his name. But if it offends you, leave a like on the live. Life offends me, so you can be offended by my Retarzard stuffed animal. I hope that do you have a Jigglypuff? Of course I have a Jigglypuff. If you know, you know. Anyway, back to the live. So the first thing, the first issue, the first entire whole reason why your witchcraft sucks, why your witchcraft is not working, why your spells are not spelling, why your magic is not magicking, why your magic is not magical, why your spells are not spelling, and why your witch is not crafting. Okay, this is what we're here to talk about, all right? The reason why is because you genuinely, deep down in your heart and in your soul, my loves, you actually don't believe that it's possible. Oh my gosh, I know that this might sound so stupid, but this is the first one. This is the first band-aid that we just have to go whoosh. Gotta rip that thing off, okay? Yeah, Ben, we're laughing in the chat because it's real, all right? It's so true. You have to unequivocally, fundamentally, irrevocably, radically, like so extremely believe in your ability to cast successful spells, to raise magical energy, and to practice witchcraft. You have to fundamentally believe that within the core of your identity. And the first place most new witches go wrong and most new practitioners go wrong, and where I went wrong when I first practiced and what caused me to fall off of my path a lot of the time, was first and foremost and fundamentally, undeniably so, was having in the back of my mind that doubt that I was not capable. I was like, maybe I'm being stupid. Maybe this isn't working. Like maybe that's not true. So that, if you're facing that struggle, Carlin Parker, I believe, Yeah, so like there's this scene in Peter Pan from a long time ago. If you're like never seen like the old like 2000s or something version of Peter Pan, there's this scene where I don't know if it's the girl or the guy that says, "I do believe in fairies. I do. I do. I do believe in fairies. I do. I do." For like Tinkerbell to like come back alive. Okay, this is what you have to have this kind of a reaction with you sometimes. Sometimes I literally have to go, I do believe my witchcraft is fundamentally powerful and possible and my birthright. I do believe my spells work. It's possible, and I see proof of it every single time I cast. I do believe in my magical power because I have raised it time and time again, and I know that it works. And I know that it's possible because there's proof in my reality every second of the day. All I have to do is open my eyes. Even it's funny, I'm wearing glasses and technically you can't see my eyes, but haha. So yeah. And if you struggle with things like that, see, something that I do is I go on these like personal like identity rampages. I'll literally sometimes have such a fundamental visceral doubt in my body, and I have to like literally stop what I'm doing and like get so emotional and physically involved in it and loud about it and be like, no, I am a fucking powerful witch. No, I am a boss. No, I am a high priestess, and no one can fucking take that away from me. No one can do that because this is who I am. This is who I claim to be. This is my identity. And this is why it works, because every single time in my life I've struggled and I've turned to magic, my life has come back to me. Everything works out for me when I believe in my magic, because that's the way it is, because that's the way it is, because that's the way it is, so mote it be. Sometimes you have to literally speak it into existence, like speak what you seek until you see what you say. Like that is the first part, is like believing in that and claiming that reality in the face of all adversity. 555 on the clock, exactly. For me, I don't know where you guys are at, but literally, that is so incredibly powerful. Ben, do you believe in yourself? Yeah, that's the only reason why I exist. I was so close to like unaliving that the only reason why I didn't unalive is simply because I had a radical belief in myself. Like, I was so far disconnected from my practice of witchcraft. I had abandoned my practice for years. Stopped spell casting. Sometimes even wondered if I was going to go back to witchcraft and magic, even though I have it tattooed on my literal arm. I was like, am I going to be a witch still? Am I a witch? Who the hell am I to think I am a witch, right? But the only thing that brought me back to life in some of those moments was believing in myself. No, I, Azura Dragonfeather, am a powerful witch. I, Azura Dragonfeather, am a master of witchcraft. I, Azura Dragonfeather, have successful spells every single time. I, Azura Dragonfeather, have mastered magic. You know, like, and even if you don't believe those things, you can start saying those things about yourself. You can start reaffirming those things and start telling yourself why. The human brain, more than anything, when we have beliefs, loves to look for confirmation in our reality of why our beliefs are the right ones. Chelsea Bear, hey, hi, hello, thanks for joining the live. Hey, Azura, can you talk about magical names on protecting yourself when you have an online presence? Ooh, that's very interesting. That might be a topic for a different live. It would be cool to do a topic on like social media witchcraft or like technological witchcraft and stuff like that. But for today, we're kind of just focusing on how to make sure that your witchcraft, your spells, and your magic like work. And at the forefront of that, like, we need to have like an undeniable, unalienable, unirrevocable, like unfuckwithable belief that it's possible for you. Because there's one thing that's true in this world, is that we live in a world of possibilities. You live in a world of possibilities. Why wouldn't your magic be possible? Why wouldn't your spells work out? Actually, why wouldn't your magic already exist? These are the kind of questions that I had to start asking myself, that started solidifying my belief not only within myself, but in my own abilities to perform witchcraft, to perform spells, and to perform magic that not only yields results that I bear witness to, but that yields results that like my clients can bear witness to, that my friends and my family can bear witness to, that I can see within not only my personal life, but my public life, and in my career, and in my social circle, and in my relationships, and with my pets, and with not only that, but like my spirit team by extension, and then my external community. Like how am I showing up there? How is it affecting it there? Because it's all interconnected, if that makes sense. Ren Elia, thanks for joining the live. Glad to have you here. What is fundamental thing in magic belief of concentration focus? I'm not too sure I understand your question, but I'm gonna just give it my best shot. If I'm understanding your question the way I think I am, the fundamental thing about your concentration of focus and magic belief is very much centered in energy and how you choose to perceive your reality. This is where magic actually becomes, like, here's where I'm going to bring you into the next step of why your witchcraft, why your spells, and why your magic sucks major dog shit, okay, is because here's the reality. You're basing your practice of witchcraft, you're basing your practice of spell casting, and you're basing your practice of magic around what you've seen in things like Hollywood, what you've read in books that are like fantasy based, and things that are geared towards magic in a way that makes you want to consume it. So you can see this in, like, you know, media, movies. It's like a little bit exaggerated. You're practicing from maybe that type of a sense, when your practice needs to be rooted in the science and the fundamental physical laws of reality. Like, you have to understand that when you start working with magic, in order to become a master at the arcane art of magic, you have to understand the laws of reality. To become a master of witchcraft is to become a master of reality. This is why you have to operate based on the scientific laws of reality, or your magic and your spells and your witchcraft is gonna suck, okay? I hope that we can kind of like come to conclusion at the very least, okay, before we jump into the next part of this video. So cheers, my friends, before I catch up with this chat. I had a deep conversation with an older lady, and St. Mary's, a year or so ago, outside the window we saw a transformer blow up. The lights flickering, it was crazy because we were talking about our ancestors. We both took this as a sign and talked a bit more about how they watched us and let us know they're here when called upon. Yeah, exactly. And you have to understand too, Carlin Barker, that no matter what happens in your reality, at the end of the day, you, as the conscious observer, get to decide what your surroundings mean for you. That's part of the human experience. Part of the human experience is being consciously aware of reality in a way that you can interpret it through symbols. Symbolism is a huge part of the human experience and a huge cornerstone of why your witchcraft, your spells, and your magic also might suck big dookie, because you have no idea the kind of spells you're doing or the types of symbols or sigils you're using, or you may even be using them improperly or ignorantly. You might not necessarily know their meaning. You only know a superficial manicured version from like witch talk, if that makes sense. Like, that's not gonna make your spells successful, if that makes sense. Wormia, I hope I said Rimria, I hope I said your name right. Thank you for joining the live. Hey, Azura, finally caught alive. I used to lurk in Unicoven, and I'm glad to see you still around. Hell yeah, so glad to have you here. Super, super awesome. Ethan Hollander, thank you so much for joining the live. Glad to have you here. I've had so many instances where things happen that just can't be coincidence. Carlin, same. This is a huge reason why I'm a believer in magic. I'm a believer in witchcraft and spells, and especially dragons, you know, like, I've just had too many things that can't be coincidence. And at the end of the day, like, the only one who's experiencing my reality on that intimate level is me. And that's why, if I'm not defining my reality in a way that's going to benefit me and those around me, then I'm failing not only myself, but I'm failing my community. I'm failing, by extension, the Hatchling clan, and then by extension, like, the globe and Mother Earth. So it really is that serious, you guys. Like, this is what the term as above, so below, as within, as without means. We are of each other. So this is why you have to choose today. You have to choose today that your witchcraft, that your spells, that your magic matters, that it's real, and that it's possible. Because if you do not have that belief on your witchcraft, your spells, and your magic on that intimate level, because no one experiences your magic, your spells, or your witchcraft on that intimate level but you. If you don't have that belief in it, then no one else has any business believing in that. Especially your spirit team. You might get lucky and have spirit team who believes in you anyway. But here's the thing, you know, like, at the end of the day, your witchcraft is an extension of you. It's an extension of your belief, of your will, manifesting into the world around you. Like, and the way that that starts, the place that that starts, is your mastery over yourself. If you can't, so here's the next part of why your witchcraft and your spells and your magic suck. How are you doing with yourself? How are you mastering your reality? How are you mastering yourself? Like, people are like, oh, I'm a god of reality, I'm this, I'm that. Okay, but are you able to control your temper? Okay, but are you good at conflict resolution? Okay, but are you able to keep a level head and a calm head when you have a debate with somebody about what's going on in the world? You know, like, hey, are you able to, you know, take care of yourself? Hey, are you able to make good decisions that might sacrifice your pleasure today but benefit you tomorrow? You know, like I had to start focusing on cutting out the things in my life that were holding me back before I really could start to see the magic happen in my life. If that makes sense. Hey there, I just wanted to drop in for a second to send you good vibes. Glad to see you streaming. I take it that means you're feeling a bit better today. Hey, Dad, Mr. Laser Days. I am feeling a little bit better today. Not the best. I might have to go get some more medicine in a second, but I unfortunately, see, the reason why I'm on live today, guys, actually, is because I was supposed to go help my boyfriend and our friends film more music videos today. That's what I was doing yesterday. I'm pretty sure that's why I, like, wasn't live yesterday. So I was supposed to go do that again, and I was supposed to live stream a little bit of that today and share that with you guys, but I unfortunately do not feel good, like, at all. Like, I've been crying all day. This is why I have glasses on today, because I just don't feel good. But I had to make the choice to stay home, because sometimes the difference between your magic working and not working is prioritizing your health, you guys. Like, sometimes the difference between your spells actually being successful or not is where are you filling up your own cup? Where are you fortifying your own heart, your own mind, your own body, your own soul? And I today had to be like, you know what, as much as I want to spend time outside filming music videos, you know, like taking photos and like pursuing my dreams, you know, of being a musician, today I had to choose to rest. Today I had to choose to have a low energy day instead. Today I wasn't able to get ready. I wasn't able to walk around in heels. I wasn't able to, like, you know, project this image of beauty onto a camera and like smile while doing it and like not cause all hell off camera for everyone around me. Like, no, today I had to choose to be present with me in my space and to show up for the hatchlings, you guys, like, as best as I can. And sacrifice what I wanted to do today, because I mean, I would have spent time with you guys either way, don't get me wrong. I would have brought you guys along for the ride, but like, today we had to do a little bit of a different thing, you know, because of like my health. And that's another thing, you know, like, remember that your health needs to come first, because all of it is connected. All of it is made of each other. If you're going so hardcore into your spiritual practice, if you're going so hardcore into your witchcraft, into your spells, into your magic, and you're almost abandoning like your body, and you're almost abandoning your health, and you're almost abandoning, you know, your community, and you're abandoning your family and your friends, and like maybe your responsibilities, then like that's not growth if you ask me. That's not magical mastery if you ask me. That's not godlike consciousness to me. That just looks like an act of escapism in a world that's hard, trying to find your power in a world that's hard, and you're on the right track. Trust me. But remember, everything is an act of balance. It's a balancing act to be a human, and it is hard, my friends. But it's okay. You don't have to let it define your reality. And today, I did not have to let my illness today define my reality. I did not have to let my period cramps define my reality today. I could be sleeping right now. That's what my boyfriend told me to do. He was like, please. He was like, just take the house, sleep, sleep, baby, please. He doesn't like seeing me like so suffer like so often, you know, because like I kind of have to have a period every month, you know. But like I am resting, don't get me wrong, but like I can still make tiny choices throughout my day that will determine me making a difference, and determine me like also taking care of myself, but also not completely isolating myself like I used to. Like before, I literally would just like scroll on TikTok watching whatever the hell I wanted, binge watching YouTube videos about Animal Crossing while I play video games, tuning out the world, ignoring everyone, and just, you know, indulging in my addictions. And that's what I was doing before, and it was not working out for me, guys. And my magic was non-existent, and my spells would never work. I couldn't even find the will to cast spells. And my witchcraft, forget it. What was that? I didn't know what witchcraft was. Who was she? She wasn't in my life. But now, like, I had to claim that back. I had to be like, no, you know what? Even though I feel like shit, I'm gonna do this. No, you know what? Even though I feel like shit, I call upon whoever the fuck is listening sometimes to give me and fill me up with that energy that I need. And sometimes it's how I get up. Thanks for taking care of yourself. I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, Dad, like, please do the same, because like I can't be there for you every single day. Like no one else can be there for us every single day but ourselves. That's why the more we take care of ourselves, the more we prioritize our own health, the more it becomes effortlessly easy to take care of those around us. You guys would be so surprised. All of the witchcraft you guys want to practice, all of the spells you want to cast, all of the magic you want to learn will naturally fall into your life the second that you prioritize all of the parts of your life that you're avoiding. If you're avoiding it, why? Where? And there's magic in finding that why. Like that's where the magic is. That's finding that why over and over and over and over again from what you're avoiding, stacked over time, gives you what? Wisdom. And that wisdom is going to give you the tool to navigate your reality in a way that no one else can do but you, because only you can navigate those experiences on an intimate level. I can't do that work for you. I was crying earlier today too because I finished off The Last Guardian. I'm good now. Hope you're okay too. Good. I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better now, you know? If you want it, tuna celebi. Oh, well, if you see, you have to want things bad enough. Exactly. Thanks for joining live. You know, like I had to want to be healed more than I wanted to be healing. I had to want to be a witch more than I wanted to be angry. I had to want to be successful in spell casting again more than I wanted to be in bed. I had to want to believe in magic again more than I believed in the despair all around me. And then when I realized that, that's when the magic and the spells and the witchcraft just came back like the bread and butter of my existence. It's in every single aspect of my life now. Why? Because I prioritized my cup. I put me at the top of what needs to be done. What needs to be done today is I need to brush my teeth. I need to take a shower. I need to make sure that my hair is being well cared for. I need to make sure that my teeth are being brushed. I need to make sure that I'm eating the right foods. I need to make sure I'm drinking good water. Where can I get the best foods for me? What can I cut out today that was bad for me yesterday? Oh, does that mean I need to stop vaping? Let's throw all of my vapes out the window. Oh shit, that's hard. Let's relapse a few times and try again and try again and fail and try again and fail. And it was over time making the choice to not give up, no matter how hard it was, no matter how many times like I felt lost. I had to look at all the parts of my life that I was ashamed of. I had to look at all the parts of my life that I was avoiding, that I was like slapping a band-aid over, being like, I've done shadow work, I'm fine. Like, no, I will be doing shadow work every single day till the day I die, because like that's what the process actually is, you know? The reason why your witchcraft isn't working is because you have too much fear in your body. The reason why your spells aren't working is because you are not grounded in the fact of the matter that this is not a drill. Like, this is not just like some trend on like on YouTube or on social media, on TikTok. Like, your witchcraft and your spells aren't working because like you saw it yesterday and like decided to give it a try. Like, it's not working because you haven't failed enough times. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to like keep getting back up. Like, you have to keep trying. You have to keep believing that it works, even if you never ever see a result. That's kind of the hard truth. And like, a lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that witchcraft and spell casting and magic is hard. But it's like it was never meant to be something that just like everybody just like gets to like learn about through a book for 5 seconds and then practices it like a master the next day. Like, it's called a practice for a reason. Like, your witchcraft, your spells, and your magic isn't working because you actually don't have a consistent practice of it yet. Like, you don't even know what your style is of your witchcraft, because how would you know when you don't have a practice? Like, how would I know who I am as a Zura Dragonfeather if I haven't spent so many years, if not 2 decades, trying and failing and trying and failing and getting it right that one time, and trying and failing and trying and failing and getting it really right this time, and trying and failing and getting it right again, and trying and failing and getting it right more, and trying and failing and trying and failing at something new, and then doing it over and over again. And sometimes I hate it. You know, like, sometimes I literally do just want to take a vacation and like go get a cute little pina colada on the beach and like play Barbie for a weekend. But like, that's not what I'm meant to do. And I'm not gonna cry over that anymore. I'm just gonna like get up and keep trying. So like, that's why the next reason why your practice isn't working is because you're not embodying it, in the sense that you're not taking action to it. Like, you might like say that you believe in your witchcraft, or you might say that you practice it, but like, do you actually have an altar? Like, your altar doesn't need to be a physical space. Your altar can literally be your body. Like, do you sit in your body and raise that magic? Do you sit in your body and visualize casting spells? Do you move? Do you dance to raise energy? Like, how many different ways have you tried to explore magic? Like, how many different actions have you actually taken? How many times have you journaled your experience? How many times have you treated your practice like a scientific experience? Like, how many hypotheses have you tried to like experiment with over and over and over again to see if you can yield the same result, meaning that it's factually real? Like, that's why your magic and your spells and your witchcraft suck, is because like, you're not a scientist with it. Like, why do you think alchemy is like so revered as like this mystical, magical art? It's just because alchemy is the accumulated knowledge of mastering your reality on an energetic level. It's the art of transmuting that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you can get there, but you have to start somewhere. Like, and the reason why your practice sucks is because like I said, you're taking action from a place where you don't even really believe it's gonna work, or you don't even really know, you have doubts about it. And then like, even if you do have doubts, you're letting that paralyze you from taking any action at all. Like, it's supposed to be messy. Like, it's not working out for you because you're afraid of messing up. It's not working out for you because you're afraid of disrespecting the spirits. It's not working out for you because you're afraid that you don't have the right knowledge yet, or you don't have enough knowledge yet. It's not working out for you because like you genuinely don't have a community of elders leading the way, but nobody does. And the people who do are very extremely lucky. That's a privilege. And like, the reality is that most of us in this world pretty much don't know what we're doing, and the ones who claim to know what they're doing probably don't know what they're doing. And like, this is why you have to kind of like use your discernment, and your discernment is just your intuition, and you develop that by trusting yourself. You don't have success in your spells because you don't trust yourself. You don't have success in your magic because you don't trust yourself. You don't have success in your witchcraft because you don't trust yourself. Well, start asking yourself why. And then if you don't know how to build that trust, all you have to do is start holding yourself accountable, is start doing the things that you say you want to do, and then sharing that. And the best thing that I did to like develop self-confidence and trust and self-respect was look at the parts of myself that I wanted to avoid the most and heal that. I had to look at that energy of wanting to avoid that. Like, it was almost on fire when I tried to touch those parts of myself. I literally sometimes was crying and so anxious and so like I guess like unaliving ideation, if you want to say, like, that I literally would like sometimes cry and shake and panic, saying like, I'm on fire, I'm on fire, I'm on fire. Like, I didn't know what else to say. Like, I was panicking. I was in so much, it was so much pain. There was so much pain there, you guys. Like, the only way I could explain that was being on fire. And the only way that I was able to really have that unshakable faith that my magic works is when I was able to sit with that kind of a pain and that kind of a wound and hold the space for those precious parts of myself that I abandoned, and I recovered them. And parts of those abandoned wounds came from hurting the ones that I loved, and I had to forgive myself for the part that I played in that. And it's so difficult to do that kind of a work, but sometimes people will say that it's an impossible type of work and no one's going to want to do that. But I'm going to tell you right here today on my channel, if you want to super hack your life, if you want to super hack your reality, if you want to super hack anything you do and call yourself whatever you want, it could be a witch, it could be, you know, an artist, it could be a musician, it could be a healer. You could literally consider yourself like a Christian and still follow these principles. I'm so serious. All you have to do is have faith, because the kind of energy I'm talking about, everybody calls it by something different. Some people call it miracles. Some people call it the placebo effect. Some people call it magic. I call it magic, but I also call it faith too. Because at the end of the day, the thing exists. We all know the thing exists. You just have to tap into it and believe that it works for you, and believe that it's possible for you to cultivate that and cultivate that experience. And that's all that matters. Thanks so much for your time to make your videos. Hey, Todd Sweeney, thanks so much for joining the live. It's so wonderful having you here. Roblero29, I like candle magic. Hell yeah, me too. I love candle magic. It's one of my first forms of magic that I like started practicing when I was a kid, and I think a lot of us do, especially if you have ever blown out your birthday candles on a birthday cake. Surprise, that's candle magic. Making wishes on a birthday cake is candle magic. Surprise, surprise. I know, very, very dramatic. I know, very, very surprising for some people. They didn't know they've been practicing magic every single birthday. Oh no. Cheers to that. like, you have to also remember that when you're exploring witchcraft and when you're experiencing your spells and your interpretation of spell casting through the experience of you as a human being, when you're going through these things, you also have, it is required to hold space for your mistakes. It's required to hold space for having mercy on yourself in those experiences. It's required to allow yourself to be wrong. It's required to make mistakes. It's required to fail. It's a requirement, you guys. Like, in order to become a high priestess, in order to become, like, if you are a follower of my channel and you are tapped into the dragon, you know, stuff, the dragon side of my content, if you claim to be a Tasur Zorus incarnated, but you don't act like it, like, what do you think you're doing? Like, who do you really even think you are? Like, if you claim to be such a bold thing, such a bold person, such a bold witch, such a high-ranking witch, then you have to start acting like one. And acting like one is not creating a catalog on every single type of witchcraft in a most beautiful, aesthetic way, you know, that gets a lot of views. Sometimes the practitioners who really know what they're talking about are the ones who don't get all the views, who don't get all the subscribers, who don't get all of the likes. And like, this is why I'm like so adamant on people following as many resources as they can, but especially the ones that might only come across your, you know, For You page or your feed like once in a very random way. Like, make sure you still engage with the resources that resonate with you, you know, because that's also why your witchcraft and your magic and your spells isn't working, is because it's so skewed towards one view. You're boxing yourself into like a certain way of practicing, and you're denying yourself the expansion of other perspectives outside of whatever type of like bubble you've put yourself in. And then you wonder why like you're not experiencing anything that feels remotely like magic. You know, a lot of these people will like sometimes, you know, go to witchcraft and magic and spell casting, you know, as a way to cope with their religious trauma. And same, I'm gonna raise my hand first, I'm same. But like, you also have to understand that because of that, like, a lot of people, when they first stumble into this, like, they're trying to almost like use witchcraft and magic and spell casting as a tool to like recover from like a wound that genuinely just requires them to be like present with themselves and to perhaps reach out to like trained professionals to help them. But also sometimes it just requires community and connection to recover from some of these things. I'm going to have to mute myself. I kind of have like to like blow my nose. Hold on 1 second. That was awful. I hated that. See, I don't feel the best, but see, I'm still gonna just jump back into what I'm saying. So, you know, a big part of the reason that like I wanted to do these daily doses of dragon feather and like really just like get deep down like for hours at a time, like just break open certain topics with you guys and engage with you guys, is because I know on my path and in my practice, I have always been taking shots in the dark, and my only tool has been the internet. My only tool has been books, and my only tool has been the limited exposure that I have gotten to other practitioners, especially when I was a kid. Even before the internet was as like relevant as it is today. It's so much more prominent today than when it was when I was a kid, because it was just developing when I was a child. And like, that's why it's so this is why I'm like so adamant, especially like if there's nothing else that you take from my channel, guys, like especially as a witch, like not like as somebody, if you don't believe in dragons, like fuck the dragons for a second. Like, if you practice witchcraft and you believe in magic, if you believe spells are real and you want to be a practitioner of witchcraft, whatever kind of witchcraft that looks like for you, please remember this. It all starts within you. The desire to practice, the desire to believe in magic, the desire to take action, the desire to want something more out of your life than the mundane 9-to-5 job, than the regular scrolling of TikTok, than the sports, than the driving of cars, you know, than the making of money and the cooking of food. You know, if you're looking for something a little bit more in life and you feel like something's missing, sometimes all that's missing is the magic. All that's missing is simply the belief that it's already there. Because sometimes all you have to have is the belief that the magic not only comes from within you, but it's already there within every single second of time that you have on this earth, within every single moment you have, with every single breath that you take, with every single piece of furniture, anything that you can touch that's tangible, you can believe that it's magic. You know, you can believe that it's magic. And if you don't, well, that's your first lesson in failure. And at the end of the day, your witchcraft and your spells and your magic simply might not be working out for you because you don't believe in questioning your ability to change your mind. You simply don't allow yourself to say maybe or maybe not. You know, like sometimes when you cast a spell and it doesn't it doesn't come true for you in the way that you thought, or come true for you as quickly as you thought, the first thing you go is you get angry because it didn't work out for you. That's your initial conditioned response, and you don't question that. That makes you stuck. You're stuck in a cycle until you can overcome that. That's why your witchcraft sucks. That's why your spells suck, and that's why your magic sucks, is because you don't know how to alchemize that. These are your lessons. You know, your lessons are within your relationships too. It's in every single second of the moments that you live your life. You know, like if your magic isn't working, maybe it's because you don't know how to stand up for yourself in a way that doesn't, you know, disrupt people's own personal rights. You know, like I used to be like, hey, like the way that you are treating me is not fair, but the way that I would demand treatment was also toxic. You know, like I had to question the way that I felt entitled to people's emotional like labor. Like that was toxic of me. Like, no, I have to do that labor first, and then I have to show up for people how I want them to show up for me. And if they choose to reflect that back to me, then I'm blessed. And if they choose to not reflect that back to me in a way that I feel comfortable with, then like I move accordingly, you know? And like, because when you start to act like that, when you start to embody these things, the way you move begins to be magic. The way that I behave is magic. The way that I have faith sometimes in the bad things that happen to me working out, make them work out exactly how I want them to, simply because I have so much radical faith that it will. I don't know. I have no business in knowing how it's supposed to work out. I just know that I'm supposed to have faith that it does. And I'm supposed to take the actions that that faith or my intuition is telling me to. And those are acts of magic too, if you believe they are. See, it's all about your belief too, you know, like your power is in your belief system. You know, your magic and your witchcraft and your spells aren't working because you're not engaging your belief system. You're not engaging your power of imagination. You're not engaging your power of faith. You're not engaging your power of perception. You're not engaging your power of voice, your power of dance, your power, you know, your power of movement. You know, you might not be able to dance on your feet because you don't have feet, but guess what? You can bob your head maybe, and maybe that can be the way that you move. And you can still make magic that way too. You know, like anything can be magic if you want it to be. Anything can be a spell if you want it to be. Anything can be witchcraft if you want it to be. But also, there's different types of these practices that are different types of witchcraft and spells and magic for a reason. And the only way you're going to figure it out, guys, is if you try and you fail and you try and you mess up and you try and you get it kind of right and you try and you get it kind of right again and you keep going, because it's a practice. You have to keep practicing. And the only time you lose with your witchcraft, with your spells, and with your magic is when you stop practicing and you stop trying to learn how to grow better, and you start thinking that you have already mastered it and you're done and you can just have like a time dictating what other people do and you don't have to grow anymore because you've like reached the pinnacle of it. You know, don't limit yourself. You're supposed to be growing every single day until the day you die. I'll still be learning lessons on my dying, with my dying breath. I will still be learning lessons and having revelations from my guardians on my deathbed. And that is the perspective that you have to have when it comes with witchcraft. This is I like to say that witchcraft is a life sentence. Magic is a life sentence, you know, like, not in a bad way unless you perceive it in a bad way. It's actually a gift, you know, like, it's a gift to be a witch, you know, it's a gift to have access to magic. It's actually a privilege and it's a huge responsibility, you know, especially like when your witchcraft and your magic and your spells are based on like your own fulfilling your own needs and your own selfish desires and your own gain, especially if it's a material gain, especially if it's your own advancement and your own image or your own reputation or your own career, or like I said, your own material gain or your own financial gain. If it's for those types of things, but at the cost of others, that's when you lose. And that's when you start engaging with energies and entities and spirit teams that are not the kind that I work with, not the kind that the hatchlings work with, okay? Like, that is when you start messing with some scary shit that we just unsubscribe, okay? We unsubscribe from that. We only subscribe to healing of humanity. That is what the hatchlings are here to do. We're here to help heal each other, heal humanity. And we do that by connecting and having compassion and just getting creative together. You know, like, your witchcraft sucks is because like you believe you're not a creative person. Who told you that? Like, you being a human being, you are creative naturally in every single way. You have to create to be functional as a human being. You might think that like making food, even if you pop it in a microwave, isn't creating something, but it certainly is magic and witchcraft to a dog. Like, you grab a bag and make that bag of kibble and make them a bowl of food, that is witchcraft to a dog. That's like pretty magical to a dog. Last time I checked, my cat thinks that's magic. We also call my cat a dog because she behaves like a dog. I digress, that's besides the point. But when we feed her, she certainly acts like that's magic, but to me it seems simple. But to her, like, she doesn't have thumbs. She can't open the door and open the bag and like get the water to rehydrate it. Like no, to me, I am the goddess of her reality, and she will do everything she can to get food from me. Like, this is what it is. But that's just a perspective, you know? And she relies on me, you know, like, because she has no other option as my child. But this is like kind of her, this is the gift, you know, like the symbiotic relationship. I do my best to take care of her, all of her needs, and she loves me for it. Like, that's it. She doesn't have to love me for it, but that's awesome. I'm gonna take care of her either way because she's my child. That's what you do with your children. This is definitely a tangent. I got too excited about the cat. Okay, sorry about that. It's hard though, because to heal means to be a light in darkness, so light has to go into darkness. Yeah, the indigo magician. If you are truly, people who claim that they're light workers, the ones who actually are what they say they are the ones that consistently go to the dark places to simply radiate their love, their energy, their light. You know, like, they're the ones who will choose to bear witness to the awful things. They'll choose to take radical actions of love, of compassion. They'll choose to speak up when it's scary. You know, like, if they can't change it with their hand, they'll scream about it. They'll make sure that they can bring, you know, awareness to it. And even when they feel like they have no energy left within them, they'll hate it in their hearts. You know, that's what it means to be a light worker. You know, it's true. It's so true. And like, to be a dark worker or a shadow worker like I am, like, it means that I'm not afraid to wield to wield things that are considered scary or wrong or violent or like, you know, like taboo, you know, to get justice, you know? Like if I have to play dirty, I will, because like some people are gonna play dirty to get the bad things to happen. Like, this is not a test, this is not a joke. Your witchcraft sucks is because you're not brave enough. Like, your spells suck because, like, you have so many resources, you have so much privilege and access around you, and yet you crave more and you don't share, and you, like, you belittle other people around you, and you claim to be the right, like, on the right way, or you feel like you're special, or you feel like you're better than other people, and you're not humble, you know, like, you're not prioritizing humanity. Like you're not prioritizing the health of the land. Like, your witchcraft sucks is because the spirits of the land think you're a joke. They're like, haha, this bitch thinks she has magic. I'm serious. Like, I've literally had to go through these things sometimes. Like, having to just kind of, like, have a rude awakening about the fact that, like, my practice was very self-centered. It was very self-serving, and it was very selfish. And I had to be like, no. Like, if I get anything out of my witchcraft, out of my spells, out of my magic, it should be a byproduct of me doing the right thing. And I shouldn't be doing it because I expect that. Like, that's not the point. Like, that's not the point. That's not the magic I'm talking about on this channel. I made this channel to see if magic was real, and the only place I found that it was real is in doing the right thing by the people who need an ally, by the people who need help, by the land who has, like, trees can't fight people. Trees can't fight the fucking, you know, like, saws and tree shredding machines, you know, like, the animals who live there, they can't fight the bulldozers, you know, but I can stop paying for it in every way I can. I can start, you know, like, taking action that way, and, like, working with my spirit team and taking their guidance in that way, you know. The difference is between identifying with your tools and just having a toolbox. You are not your tools. Exactly. Like, I'm also, by extension of that, like, I don't even, like, if you really want to play that game, like, I don't even need any spirit team. If you really want to play life on hard mode, you don't need anything. You don't need anything but your vessel. You don't need anything but your consciousness. You want to play witchcraft, magic on God mode? All you need is you and all that comes with you as a human being. You don't even need the clothes. You don't even need the accessories like this. Even though this is, like, pierced in my face, I don't need it for the purpose that I have it. The fact that I even came up with the intention is the magic. That's where the magic is. That's why we use these tools or have a toolbox, you know? But if you really want your witchcraft and your spells and your magic to work out, you know, I actually started to abandon my altars and abandon my tools, and I started to go deep within the darkness of my heart and my soul, and I started to shine a light there, because that's what it means to be magical. You know, the majority of the issues we have in the world today is because people will not sit with themselves and be silent. They will not sit with themselves and shine a light on the darkest parts of themselves. They are desperately trying to avoid at all costs, at any means necessary. That is why the world looks the way it does today, is because it's made of each other. We're seeing all of the shadows manifested within the people of the hearts who are trying to avoid them. They're hard and they're hard. They're hardened, you know? And it's sad, and they're cold within because they're looking for everything out here. It's cold inside here because they don't even live here. They're not even present here because they're so busy trying to get away from what's here, you know? So that's why you gotta go back here. You gotta like breathe some life into you again. Like, and the way you do that is by literally shining that light on those dark parts of yourself, you know, like your witchcraft and your spells and your magic suck major shit because you're not doing your shadow work properly. You're doing it artificially by buying a journal on TikTok and thinking that that's all that it takes. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's a daily process. Like, it's a daily transformational effort, you know, like, are you ending your days better than you started them? That is the fundamental like baseline of like what it really means. What it really means to see real magic in real time. You know, that's how I see real magic in real time, is I speak over myself all the time. When I don't know what to do, I speak good things over myself. I speak faith over myself. I speak power over myself, because that is real magic. It yields real magic because all of it's connected, because I choose to perceive it as real. I choose to perceive that as working, and then I see it work in real time and I find the proof. You know, you can call it whatever you want to call it. It's just what I have experienced in my life. Vokan, thank you for joining the live. Thank you for the stream. Oh, hey, hi, you're welcome. I was feeling anxious and depressed the past few hours, and listening to your stream helps me shake those feelings. Dude, that is an honor and a privilege to hear. Thank you for sharing that feedback with me, because today I don't feel the best, and I almost didn't even stream today, and I just had a huge push from my guardians, and my spirit team. They were like, no, the hatchlings need you today. Please just show up, no matter how you can. Even though I didn't have any energy to get like ready properly, I'm wearing the sunglasses because I just don't feel good. But like, thank you. I'm so glad that you made the stream and were able to share some of your day with me today. It really means a lot to me. It really does. It really does. Ethan Hollinger, I'm living in Oklahoma and I'm thinking about growing moonflowers. I love moonflowers. Please do it. Carlin Barker, all right, you want to see something magical? Specifically, a red car will honk at a white truck and the truck will honk and get pulled over directly after. That's what I foresee. Okay. Let's see if it happens. Call it coincidence, but I called it out first. I love that attitude. Let's do it. If I see it, I'll let you know in a stream. The foresight will fail as an act of showing off. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you guys don't even understand like how hard it is for me to not like kind of spill all the beans that I want to spill on the channel, simply because that's not fun for anyone. Also I just can't like disobey like the rules that my spirit team give me, especially my dragon guardians, because when I do, I fail really bad. It bites me in the ass, and like I just suffer in all the ways I could have avoided, if that makes sense. So I will follow their guidelines for my channel. It's funny because like there's like a terms of service for like all the social media that we use, right? There's like a YouTube terms of service, but like for me specifically as a creator, I also have my guardians terms of service that I have to subscribe to and abide by. It's kind of funny actually. But that's fine. You know, not everybody else has a spirit team terms of service they have to abide to, but if you guys are interested in that, that's what I have here. But I promise you, even though it's like a very strict guideline system I have to follow from my guardians, I do really send and share a lot more than I ever thought I would now, but it works. Yeah, you know, the spiritual one, sending you healing. Oh my goodness, thank you for joining the live and the healing, sending the healing back to you and all of the hatchlings in the stream, at any point in time in their lives. So thank you so much for joining. Conqueta needs a holiday. I hope I said your name right. Hi, I usually catch the stream late, but I'm glad to be here and heal while listening to this conversation. Thanks for real. Oh my goodness. You people are the reason why I do what I do. Like, I feel like I would be so lost without having all of you guys, and all of your amazing comments and all the things that you share with me have truly shaped who I am today. And so I just want to thank you guys for choosing to spend some of your day with me today. And like, I just hope that, you know, this stream has like helped you guys maybe believe in magic a little bit more again, because let me tell you something. The second that you believe magic is possible, you know, I start here, use this language. Your language is so important, you know. Your magic and your spells and your witchcraft isn't working is because you're not using the right language when you're casting, right? Not like English is the wrong language. No, what I mean is the way you're phrasing things. You know, like phrase things in a way that resonate with you. And so sometimes you have to be like, no, I am magic incarnate. Like, everywhere I go, my magic comes true, and I don't even need proof of it because I feel it's real with every step that I take. You know, like, you have to use the right language. You have to believe in yourself. You have to choose the right words in the sense that they're good for you. Your words are medicine or they are poison or they don't matter very much. Like, what do your words do for you? Are they enabling you? Are they building the staircase that you need to take the next step? Or are they, you know, taking the rug out from underneath you and making you fall on your face? And while both are necessary human experiences in order to grow, you know, the whole point is to not avoid negative experiences. No, it's just having the trust in yourself, having the faith in yourself, and having the security within yourself to navigate no matter what life throws at you. That's what yields you real magic. That's what yields true mastery over your witchcraft and over your spell casting, if that makes sense. Seti the Red, hey, good to see you again. Thanks for joining the live. I am really creative and condiment with my magic. I'm sorry, I don't know if I understand that. But I've had a fair bit non-manifest. But I have only slowly found this journey to myself. Yeah, you know, I mean, like, for me, a lot of my journey with magic has been to myself, even though I've had, you know, experiences in covens and doing like spells with just like one other person or like a tiny group of other people. It's just kind of a thing. I do have to use the restroom really quick, so I'm gonna go jump to the bathroom, but I am gonna put this thing on mute. But I'll be right back. So yeah, please stay. Please don't leave. I won't be that long. I just have to go to the bathroom, you know what I mean? So yeah, thank you for joining the live. Yay! Thank you guys for not leaving. You are the cool kids. I had to get some water too, simply because water's good for you. Unfortunately, I only have water from a plastic bottle right now. I know it's really tragic, but that's just because we're kind of like trying to like, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the household that's happening for the better, but it just kind of looks like chaos right now. But that's fine, you know, sometimes life is like that. I'm not going to advertise the water bottle brand that I use because I don't condone drinking water bottles, but I condone meeting your needs when you have to do what you have to do. So that's why we won't promote the water bottle brand. But yeah, Condiment spells, magical mustard. You're funny, Twinkle Plaza. ASMR Witch, good to see you. Thanks for joining the stream. I've been learning a lot lately about my own magic again, or magi again. I suffered a psychosis episode on Monday and it's affected a friend of mine greatly, so I'm learning a lot, or relearning. Well, ASMR Witch, I'm really sorry to hear that, but I hope and wish you the best on your recovery journey. Because, you know, I've had a fair share of those moments where I've been in like a spiritual psychosis and I've really hurt a lot of people, and for me it's actually costed me some friendships. I was fully responsible for some of those, but that's even a more big reason why I like do what I do, because like it's really important for me to just try my best to try and help other people avoid that mistake, because it just sucks. Let's see here. It says, I find that I think in terms of language, so the words I use and the language I know shape my thoughts and my headspace. Chemicals and conversation, yeah. This is why, like, the language that you use and the language that you're, like, restricted to knowing, absolutely defines your reality, because the way you simply think of things will determine your experience, right? So if you think a tree is an it and like it doesn't have a consciousness because your language doesn't embody it as a person or as like a who, right? Like we don't say who is that tree, we say what kind of tree is it, right? You know, like literally things that simple can dictate whether or not like your magic actually is as good as it could be, or your witchcraft is actually as effective as it could be, or your spells are actually as powerful as they could be, is simply because of how you choose to word it, right? You know, so like this is why, you know, if people talk about a tree that they like, so sometimes people are like, oh, I have this tree in my backyard that I really like, I'll ask them, I'm like, oh, who are they? You know, like what are they like, you know? And it sometimes takes people aback because it's a weird way of speaking in English, right? But like that's the whole point, right? The whole point is in speaking in a way that enables us to kind of question our reality. And this is why when you speak in a certain way, you can actually make the most closed-minded of people question things simply because of the way that you state it, you know? And the way that you state things has a lot of things that come into play, like the tone that you state it in, the facial expressions, the words, the act, like we're talking about, like the literal word choice and organization of the language that you're using, the context of all of that, you know. And especially for people who are neurodivergent and like autistic, or like who suffer from ADHD, maybe I shouldn't say suffer, but it kind of can be a suffering, you know. I know some people suffer from that, so that's kind of why I say that. Let me know if you kind of disagree with that language. See, like I'm saying, your language defines your reality. For some people, ADHD could be a superpower, or it could be a mislabeling of their experience, because I don't know everything. I just genuinely don't. So this is again why the language matters, because for people like that, it can be hard to like monitor all of the different aspects that go into like language and interacting with people in a linguistic way, and interacting with your own reality in a linguistic way that empowers you and empowers others, because that in and of itself is magic. That's why I love using the concept of spelling, and why we say that like when we spell words, we create sentences, you know, like it's a sentence is just a collection of spells, which is just an organization of words that you use to define your reality, which is why it's called a sentence. Because when you create a sentence of language, you're creating your reality in a way. You know, if I say trees can't have feelings, I'm creating that sentence. It's literally both literally creating a sentence, but also creating the sentence of my perspective. Like you are sentenced to me observing you as not having a consciousness, and then people don't engage with the reality in a magical way. That's where the magic goes to die. You know, that's where the spells go to die. That's where the witchcraft goes to die. Shadowlands Radio, ayo guppies, good to see you again. Thanks for joining the live. So I hope that helps a little bit. I find if I use too many weasel words, it won't work. But if I'm too bold, it also won't work because I don't fully believe it. It's about finding the right balance of weaseling and weaseling to asserting. That's fun. That's a fun way of looking at it. For me, I find that it's probably like the same thing for you, but it's like a balance between audacity and humility. But I guess you could say weaseling and asserting is essentially the same thing, so I love that. My practice has very much been recently a focus on balancing audacity with humility, if that makes sense. So that's really fun. That's really fun. I love that perspective. ASMR Witch. Yeah, I'm fully responsible for this one. This one means the world to me, to the point where I'd even convert for him if things got serious for he and I. Right now he needs space. Yeah, dude. The best thing you can do is radically give them space, no matter as much as you want to, reach out. Because, like, if someone's meant to be in your life and they need space from you, they'll come back to you. Like, if someone's meant to be in your life and meant to be with you or be for you in any sense of the word, like, you can't fuck it up, no matter how bad things get. But if things aren't meant for you and they weren't meant to be in your life, like, you can't make it work. No matter how good things get, you know, you can't make it work. So try to have some peace and some mercy with yourself and calm down, take it easy, and just put your focus back on you and on your journey. You know, I'm sure you have your own experience and stuff. You're probably already doing that. So all the support to you, my friends. I have a personal issue with how I emphasize things. I feel like I gotta be correct all the time and nitpick myself when I realize I could have said something a better way, and have to do more internalization. Yeah. You know, like the root cause of an issue like that is shame-based. It's very shame-based in the sense that, like, at some point in time, like, you were basically your reality was defined where you wouldn't be good enough, or you wouldn't be accepted, or you wouldn't be allowed to excel if you weren't perfect. But let me tell you something. Being perfect and being correct, like being correct in the absolute sense, or knowing the absolute truth, is a great way to limit your experience of magic, and a great way to limit your experience of your reality in any sense, because it then takes your focus away from what's actually important. What's actually important is the why you do what you do, not the how. And the how is never the focus. That was my biggest issue when it came to my witchcraft, when it came to my spells, when it came to my magic. I was always focused on the how. I was always focused on the how I did things, on the how it was done, and then the when kind of thing. And that was wrong. Like, the problem that I had with my spells coming, like, actually working, and my magic actually having a meaningful impact, not only in my reality, but in others' realities, that shift happened when I took my attention away from the how. I actually completely ignore the how, and I skip straight to the knowing that it's already done. I skip straight to the knowing that because it is already done, every action I take now is going to be divinely informed by my intuition, divinely informed by my spirit team, and however I move in a natural way or feel inclined to move in an instinctual way, I trust myself that action is exactly as it should be, and no matter what, it is working. And I know that might seem kind of confusing because, again, the language of English is stupid, and I'm doing my best to try and communicate this in English. But yeah, I hope that helps a little bit. Hey, lucky number 26, welcome to the live. Glad to have you here, my friends. I am just trying to catch up with this chat, my friends. Could the entity that has called me Walani be my dragon guardian? I wouldn't know, my friend. I think I just wouldn't know. I'm so sorry about that. But it could be. We live in a world of possibilities. So, there's that. I speak how I speak, but I'm not comfortable with my voice. Yeah, you know? And that's a journey I feel like a lot of us, if not every one of us, go through as a human being. And you just gotta like radically have love for yourself and radically hold space for yourself and radically choose to think that you're the coolest person ever, regardless of what anything else says, what anyone else online says, what any thought in your head says, what any family member says, what any societal label says, what anything says. Just have to believe your awesome, magical brilliancy and act accordingly, and just be grateful where you can be grateful, and share your abundance where you can share your abundance, and just do your best. You are human. You're allowed to make mistakes, but just do your best, you know? I am already doing it right now. It's a lot of crying and sadness, LMFAO. But you have to understand, at ASMR Witch, that like sometimes your magic, your spells, and your witchcraft sucks because you're too afraid to experience your sadness. You're too afraid to cry. You have a blockage within you to grieve. Like you're not able to process these things. Some people have had losses from decades ago that they still haven't processed, that are stuck within their bodies and actively harming them. And they think that they can like, some of these people still think that they discovered magic like 2 seconds ago and like practice and are amazing at it, and then they like start spiraling into different than like a grounded spiritual practice, right? And that's what we're trying to avoid here on this channel, is we're just trying to ground people not only in reality but also in the possibility that miracles can happen, and they do happen every day if you believe in them. Miracles happen for me every day because I believe in them and I witness them, and there's proof every single second in front of me. Like, I'm not obligated to share the proof that I have, like, because it's my own spiritual experience. That's why it's my spiritual practice, you know? You can find those things and you can choose to share your experiences or not, but that's because it's your spiritual practice, you know? And that's all you can do. I'm an eclectic gray witch, been a practitioner since 6. I was born with my gifts. Since I have the energy I do, many have tried to take those gifts in my life. All these people only helped me grow. Yeah, the spiritual one. I am the same way. A lot of people tried to take or like remove my gifts from me, and it just helped me grow in a different way. I find people aren't precise enough with their words and then get mad at me for misunderstanding. Like, say what you mean, bruh. No, Twinkleplasm. The thing is like everybody has different definitions for their own words. You know, like everybody technically has different interpretations and connotations for words based on their own experiences. This is again why language is so important, and you have to know who you're talking to sometimes, because the way that I speak with my boyfriend now, for example, the language that I use with him to like communicate my needs, completely I don't understand. I actually it completely baffles my mind that it works the way that I speak to him. I'm not like speaking to him disrespectfully. It's just the language that I use. Like, I almost feel like when I tell him what I need, I have to like go to the business lobby, you know, and like ask for an investment, like file for a loan in a way. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than like I'm going to the bank in a way, like but like I hope he's not offended if he hears this or if he watches this, because, you know, like the difference is that like I don't really tell him like anymore, like, oh my gosh, like when you do this it makes me feel like you don't care about me. Like, that doesn't work when I talk to my boyfriend. Like, that doesn't create magic in my relationship with my boyfriend, right? But when I say, like, the more you invest into the moments that I am hurting, the quicker they're over. Magic in our relationship, magic in our relationship. Language matters, okay? This is why I'm telling you, your magic might not be working because your language sucks. The words that you're choosing to speak and the way you're choosing to speak them sucks. And you need the audacity to change that. And you need to have humility to know when it might not be working and try again and try something different. It's a balance. You know, it's a balancing act, right? And you'll find when you get it right, you'll start witnessing magic everywhere, not only in your actual practice, but in your relationships, like I was just explaining about with like my personal relationship. You know, like you just have to kind of believe that it's possible and start trying different things. It's hard sometimes. It's really hard sometimes. Please excuse me, I have to drink some stuff because I don't feel good. I literally might have to go get more medicine. I am like 200 milligrams deep right now, and I'm in agony. I'm like so annoyed. Why are my cramps so bad? The world may never know. Watch me one day on this channel, you guys. This is the whole entire point of this channel. You heard it here first, okay? You want to know from my own personal experience if magic and witchcraft and spells are real? Watch me. Watch me heal my entire existence. I have pretty much done the whole shebang. The last challenge, the last hurrah. Watch me heal my period pain. Watch me heal my heavy periods, because I know in my heart that if I'm healthy, truly healthy, in the way that I know I deserve and am capable of being, that my periods would not cripple me this way. Watch. I know that's totally a tangent, but that's just a little reminder, maybe just for myself in my own journey of witchcraft and magic, especially here on this channel. You know, cast it and forget it and let it happen is how I go by it. ASMR Witch, you are doing the right thing. That is a really good way of going about it. Today I find myself doing healings for others and removals and help them with negative situations. The spiritual one, you and me both, my friends. We are doing the best that we can, and it is doing and making a difference, I promise you. That sounds like positive energy vampirism. It's good beans. Hey, whatever you want to call it is whatever you want to call it, I guess. I do have a blockage in that stuff. You know, it's okay. The only way you get better and remove the blockage is by facing it and trying again and again and again. Playing some Hogwarts Mystery. I have no idea what that is. Let's see. ASMR Witch. So since then, I hate getting close to people. You know what? As a human being, you are a social creature. You need to be close to people. I know it's hard. It's hard for all of us right now. But sometimes in order to be close to people, we have to isolate ourselves so we can be close to ourselves and be close to all the different versions of ourselves, all the different people within us stuck in different periods of time that really need our attention before we can have the space and the tools and the skills and the ability to really be there for others. Because you stitch all of the open wounds that are gushing within you and watch the magic happen before your very eyes. I dare you. Like, I don't care. It's all connected. Like, your magic sucks, your witchcraft sucks, your spells suck is because you don't believe that everything you do affects everything else you do all the time, every single second of the day. It's just, it is what it is. I don't make the rules. I'm just here to let you know about it. Extra Anarchy. Thanks for joining live. Glad to have you here. Yes, you need to take all emotions into action and not focus on one. You must have a harmony and be able to take the humility, because once you have an acceptance with yourself, then you have true harmony. Yeah, you know, like here's the thing. Like emotions, like we've talked about before, is energy in motion. And like, here's another thing, like your magic and your witchcraft and your spells suck because you're not engaging your emotions enough. You're not utilizing your emotions enough. Your emotions are in control of you. You're not in control of your emotions. My magic and witchcraft got like to a master level when like to where I see results sometimes in minutes, sometimes in seconds, sometimes, you know, if it's a bigger thing, in days or weeks, you know. I've had some crazy turnarounds in ways that I could never expect, simply because I chose to focus on this, my emotional mastery. And that includes how I respond to my environment on an emotional level every single second of the day. And that's where the real challenge begins, is can you stay consciously aware? How often can you stay consciously aware of your emotional response, your emotional regulation, and your emotional movement? How often can you do that on a day-to-day basis in your waking moment? I have still to this day have meltdowns. I'm a human being. I'm allowed to mess up. You know what I mean? But like, how do I recover from that? How do I move through that? And do I shame myself from that? Do I perceive those as bad? Do I perceive those failures as negative? No, I perceive them as necessary, as part of the process, as tools, as stepping stones too. And now I just don't have any shame as much as I possibly can. You know, and every single time I find more shame hidden within myself, I'm learning better how to like extract it and alchemize it into something better for me, you know, whatever it might need to be, you know, and that process has created my intentional, ritualistic, like spell casting and witchcraft and magic has just gone off the charts now, because I've just spent so much dedicated time and energy and effort and focused attention on my recovery in that sense. The word that I'm hearing from my guardians right now is equilibrium. I have reached a place where I'm really getting close to equilibrium in a way that I've never been before in my entire life. That has brought me into what they're also saying, an alignment that is allowing me to have the success that I have. This is what they're telling me kind of right now a little bit. But they're telling me that I'm not the only one who's achieving this, and I'm also not like the furthest ahead on this type of a journey. I'm still relatively new to this type of practice compared to some of the people who are on the planet right now. This is what my guardians are also, like, I'm channeling from them a little bit. They're telling me also that everybody has the capability to do this as a human being. They just have to like choose that. They have to choose to consciously be aware of themselves, because what makes us human, my guardians are saying, what makes us human is our power of intellectual thought, if that makes sense. So you have to use it. You have to use it to help you. And if you don't, then it kind of sucks. Kind of just doesn't work out. When pride meets humility, does pride say all the bad things about the humility, or are they all a projection of oneself? No, they're all necessary. See, pride and humility are going to act the way you perceive them. You know, pride and humility, let's give them a who. Remember, like, it's our language, right? Our pride is a who. It's not a thing. It's not an emotion. It's not a this or a that. It's a who. Our humility is not a this or a that. It's a who. And when you're working with who's instead of what's or it's, like, this is a language lesson, I guess now. An English language lesson. When you're working with the who of pride, when you're working with the who of humility, you can't engage with them in the terms of elimination, because that almost is like violence. It becomes violence when you're personifying them. You know, you can't take away their right to exist, right? So pride and humility are like, they're who. They have a place of existence. They have a right of existence in your life. Let me cook here, okay? So when you engage with them that way, you have to then reframe the term of engagement. It comes from, how can they engage together? How can they work together? How can they like talk to each other, instead of which one is right or wrong? Like, there's no right or wrong way to experience pride. There's just a different way to express pride. Or you could say pride just expresses itself in different ways because that's who pride is, right? And sometimes pride expresses itself in a very ugly way. But that is because pride sometimes expresses itself in an ugly way when we're experiencing something ugly. But there's also a very positive way pride can express itself. It is a positive thing to be proud of your accomplishments and the sense of your healing. For example, every single time that people try to label me as like a selfish person, or a piece of shit, or like I don't care about them, or this or that, my pride that I have in my accomplishments of healing is what grounds me in who I am, and what makes those comments, especially when they come from the people I love the most, roll off of me like water on a duck's back. You know, when my humility is expressed in a sense that exposes me to being vulnerable to the manipulation and being taken advantage of by others, that is a toxic expression of who my humility is. But when I use my humility to express myself when I'm wrong, that's how humility can show up for me in a way that's powerful. and then you can just use them to work together. And it's all very advanced stuff sometimes, because again, we don't have teachers, you know? So now we have to like kind of turn our attention to these things. We have to turn our attention to who our pride is and how it's showing up, who our humility is, how is it showing up, you know, who our ego is, how is it showing up, who our spirit is, how is it showing up. Like, all of it matters if you want to master magic. All of it matters if you really care about your spells working out, if you really care about your witchcraft, in the sense that, you know, you're like, I'm gonna be a high priest or priestess, I'm gonna be a master of my reality, you know, like, this is what I meant to do in my lifetime, this is how I'm gonna evolve, you know, like, if that's really what you're on, you got to put your money where your mouth is sometimes, if that makes sense. Tragic nostalgic, hope I didn't show up in the end. No, you didn't. I'm probably going to be on for another like 30 or 40 minutes, if that makes sense. Twinkleplasm, once my dragon self took a human form while I was astral projecting and beat the snot out of some aggressive dudes. You know, like, the thing is that there's many ways to experience healing. You just never know. You never know how that might look like for you until you experience it. Is people trying to affect your energy just to get a rise out of you? You know, when people try to get a response out of you, the ultimate power move is to not let them. So for example, sometimes when people get mad, when they perceive you like treating them in a disrespectful way, they'll resort to like insults, or they'll resort to like being violent, or like, you know, using your weaknesses or vulnerabilities against you, and like an attempt to like manipulate you into like a fawning like response, like an apologetic way, or like trying to like make it right or whatever, because you offended them so badly, so clearly you're in the wrong or whatever. The ultimate power move is to just like kind of not even like perceive that, like, you're, even though you would be in the right to like scold them for that behavior, the actual real power move in those situations is to like not even really perceive it, and just kind of be like, oh, that's weird, so okay, what do you want for lunch? And if they're just like engaging with you like in a negative way, then just like keep to yourself, don't say anything, and just like do whatever you need to do in your own mind and body to regulate yourself. That's the real power move, because sometimes things happen to us simply as an opportunity for us to level up our regulation skills, to level up our conflict resolution skills, to try something different than the patterns of the past. You know, that's where the magic is in life. You just have to look for it. You have to like choose to find it, if that makes sense. Let me take a sip. Excuse me. I've lived almost exclusively in my brain for most of my life. I had to survive for a long time. Yay, growing up with manipulation. Yeah, same. Most of the reason why I feel like my mental health is the way that it is because I spent most of my life in my head for a long time, and only very recently in the past like few years have I been able to really come out of that and experience the world around me in a positive way. And then that has also been a very triggering experience that sometimes I don't have the best response to. So I'm just trying the best that I can, and that's all we can do, you know. Rebel Child Witchery, hey, hello, thanks for joining the live, glad to have you here. What if I catch myself trying to get a rise out of people? I keep catching myself doing it with my mom. I think it's a subconscious effort to spite her for hurting me as a child. It could be that, but usually it's like a attention wound. There's usually a wound of not being nurtured properly as a child when we try to get a rise out of people. Caught myself a long time ago, and sometimes the behavior still kind of comes to the surface. I'll like cry or like get almost overly emotional sometimes in an attempt to get attention, like comfort, because like I genuinely never got that as a child, like because my parents were like never around, or like maybe they were like a little too drunk, or they were a little too focused on their own thing, or working too much, or just something like that, to really kind of like give me that emotional nervous system regulation. And the only solution to that was to basically seek the opposite of what my initial need was. So like my need was to like tell people how to meet my emotional needs and demand that it happens in real time, completely disregarding their like autonomy as a person. Like, they're allowed to say, no, I don't want to engage with this at any point in time. You know what I mean? Like, they're allowed to do that. But I like was not holding space for that because of my own lack of like regulation. And the only solution to that, the only thing that created real magical change in my life, was tending to the wound within me that was neglected as a child. Like, all of the times that I remember being alone very, very early, and I had to entertain myself and I had to try and feed myself, and sometimes it was like not a good situation, and maybe it was expired, and maybe I didn't know what I was doing because I was a literal child. I had to visit those memories and moments in time, and I had to remind myself that it's okay, I was a child, like I deserved love. I wasn't supposed to be strong. I wasn't supposed to figure it out. I wasn't supposed to take care of myself. I wasn't supposed to be wise for my age. I wasn't supposed to be an old soul. I wasn't supposed to be a good helper. I wasn't supposed to be a good girl. I wasn't supposed to be any of that. I was supposed to be a child. And the more that I spent time with those moments, radically I stopped demanding a rise out of people. I just don't care. I have no attachment. Then I started focusing on the law of detachment. That helped me master my reality almost overnight, the second that I really started implementing it properly. You know, like, if people disrespect me, like, okay, I don't really give a shit. I like just distance myself from that. Like, if I don't like the way you're treating to me or talking to me, cool, I'm just gonna like move over here and like call it a day. You know what I mean? Like, and if it gets to the point to where it's like you cross a certain line, like, then I'm just not gonna talk to you again. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to make me mad. Like, I just don't care. Like, you're allowed to be angry with me. Like, I'm allowed to mess up. I'm allowed to, like, you know, be a human being and have imperfections, and you're allowed to be offended by that and not want to engage with me. And oh wow, that is how life works. You know, and radically accepting that and understanding that your actions have consequences, both positive and negative, will give you so much peace and clarity and almost control over your life that it feels like magic, because it is. Because that's what magic is. It's a master of your reality. And to master your reality, you have to master yourself. And to master yourself, you have to master your shadows and your emotions, and you have to become like a real adult. You know what I mean? Like, you have to not let anyone be able to instigate a response out of you. I'm a human being. People can make me mad sometimes. People can make me go right back into my patterns that I've worked years and decades on trying to overcome. But I'm going to keep trying to get better, because each day I'm a little bit better, and each day people are less and less able to get a rise out of me. Each day I give less and less of a shit of the validation of other people, because I'm validating myself constantly through the things that I'm overcoming, through the things that I'm manifesting happening for me, through my dreams coming true. You know, like, that's why, like, if you want to know why I'm so like secure, and I identify with being healed, and I identify with being a securely attached human being, why I identify with an emotionally and neurologically regulated adult, why I identify with being a master manifester, like, check out the link in the description of this video. Only $3.69, and it's literally the blueprint to how I move in my life on God mode. It's literally the very, very basics to how I practice magic like a master, because guess what? Magic is just a different flavor of manifestation. It's just a different flavor of a miracle. It's just a different flavor of whatever you want. A coincidence, you know, whatever you want to perceive it. No one's denying it exists. It's obviously there. You know, we all believe in that thing. Hey, the way of the dragon. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Glad to see you join the live. The eternal student is the most wise, to be honest. Yes, Twinkle Plasma. Plasm, your graduation is dying. That's the way that the dragons tell me. You know, like, my guardians told me a long time ago. You know, especially I've had a lot of near-death experiences in my life. Maybe I'll do a live about it. It's kind of hard to do that on the channel, because it's kind of like a taboo topic. It's hard to talk about with the terms of service, but it's a huge reason why I know what I know, and I have the experience and the faith that I do, because, like, I shouldn't be here, but I am. And the only thing that kept me here is the faith in what I have faith in. and the beliefs that I have, you know, like sometimes the beliefs that you have are enough to keep you here. You know, sometimes the faith you have are enough. It actually is enough to get what you want, you know? Ramen Cup, thanks for joining the live. I found some spirit guides, a dragon and phoenix, and I call them Envy and Azrael. That's cute. I'm honored if you used my name. Cheers to that. That's adorable. Yeah, dude, but here's the thing, man. Like people think that, you know, like I get comments all the time saying like, oh my gosh, like I really look up to you, like you're so wise, like I want to be like you, like I don't know how, like you do it, like, you know, like you were not, like you were gone and now like you're back and it seems like you've completely leveled up, like you're a different person, like I don't even know how to like be like that. Like the truth is, you guys, if you're even tuned into my channel, if you're even tuned into my content, if you're even just on a path of magic, you're actually so much closer to being there than you think. You're on the right path. What I have accomplished in my spiritual path is just a fraction of what's probably possible because I don't have all the resources necessary. And you could have more simply because of who you are. The only thing stopping you guys is your belief of putting people like me on a pedestal, you know, of having like, you know, it's good to have role models, but like, you know, don't idolize people too much, you know, because like at the end of the day, like my practice of witchcraft, my practice of magic, and my spell casting is for me, and it works the best for me because I created it that way. And you're never gonna know the type of magic that you could create. We will never know the impact of your magic if you don't believe it's possible. That's really where it starts, you guys. That's really where it begins. You know, like the reasons why these glasses win so hard is because they're heart lenses. No matter what I see, I'm seeing it through a lens of love. I'm not using rose-colored glasses. No, I'm seeing everything through a heart lens because everything deserves to be observed with a radical lens of love. Everything deserves to be observed through a radical lens of compassion. And it starts when you start doing these things with yourself, when you start observing yourself with radical love and compassion and mercy for everything you've been through. You know, you're just the way you should be. You know, like take a moment to take a deep breath and tell yourself, like, I did it. Like I really did it. I got here. I made it. I'm here. You know, and really have that moment, claim your moment with yourself right here, right now, because your magic isn't working. Your spells aren't working. Your witchcraft sucks because you're not here right now. You're way in the past. You're way in the future. You're way too concerned about what's happening outside of you, around the world. You're not here right now. You're not here right now. Your magic sucks because you're not here right now. Wake up. Why aren't you here right now? Does it hurt to be here right now? Is that why? Are you afraid to be here right now? Is that why? You know, like, does it feel like you're on fire when you're here right now? Is that why? You know, like these are the fundamental parts of why your magic sucks, why your spells suck, and why your witchcraft is gonna suck for a long time. You know, these are absolutely shortcuts to making your magic, your witchcraft, and your spells OP. Like top of the line, S-class, S-tier. You know, like you have to believe in that shit. You have to literally work on yourself. It's not easy. Like channeling yourself, you know, channeling yourself and all that you've been through and everything that you feel, all the energy, both past, present, and future, into something that's greater than you could have ever imagined. That is a heroic act. You are a hero. You have to be willing to be a hero. Not like, fuck the world. You have to be a hero to yourself. You know, the person I am today is a hero to the little one within me every single day. And I will go back to her whenever she needs me, in any moment that I may have forgotten her. And I will save the day because I have the audacity, you know? I have to have the audacity to believe that I can save myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to be showing up how I am today. I have to have the humility that I'm not doing it right, or I'm not going to be inclusive, or I'm not going to be accurate, or I'm not going to be really doing the real work that needs to be done. This is what my guardians have told me. I need to balance it. It's so important. Now I'm going to make myself quit thinking I have to go to college and get a normal job to get anywhere. No, that is so stupid. That is literally like a great way to limit your experience. Like, I will probably go back to college when I'm like 50 or 60 because it'll be after what I've done and I want to like spend my time doing whatever the fuck, doing fuck all random things while I'm probably just having a good old time, you know? But like right now, like the real work, the real stuff that I need to be doing in my life is not going to be found in a college, and this is my experience, and it might work for you, it might not, I don't know. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to tell you what works for me, and in the path and practice that I'm working in, you know, like my witchcraft, my spells, and my magic hasn't worked and has sucked really hard because of all of these things that I've talked about. I had to recover. I had to, you know, overcome these challenges. I had to do that before my magic and my witchcraft and my spells actually started working really well, if that makes sense. The dragons I work with have been wanting me to help and protect the local bee pollinator species. Don't ignore that. You know what I mean? Getting educated in that is great, but like, maybe if you're afraid of being around bees, like start learning how to fight that fear, getting the things that you can, saving up what you can in order to invest in what you need to take care of the bees. Like, you literally have to be so hardcore sometimes about certain things because that's what enables you to be soft and compassionate and, I guess, gentle in other parts of your life, is when you are steadfast in knowing where your purpose anchors you to this place. You know what I mean? That's what really matters. You know, once I realized, the purpose for my existence, that anchored me to earth and informed my moves, my actions as a human being. It's just everybody has their own thing that they go through, you know? I can feel that this chat is so much healing ahead of us. We got this. No, honestly, I feel like this chat has healed so much already. Like, I am so impressed every day I'm here by the quality of the questions you guys are asking me, by the ways that you guys are willing to break down your experience and like look at your life. Like, it's really admirable to be willing to analyze yourself and like make yourself like an improvement project, if you will. But at the same time, I think that what we're really being challenged to do here, like in this chat, is like take the radical act of feeling our feelings, taking the radical act of like actually sitting with ourselves and practicing what we've been too afraid to practice, and claiming the identity for ourselves that we're improving, that we are healed, and we're like learning new tools and new ways to heal parts of ourselves every day, and we're not afraid to keep learning. You know, like, I don't think it's healthy to have your whole life be a healing journey. At some point, you gotta decide when you're healed. And I have reached a level in my life where I am fundamentally a different person in a better way than I ever would have been before I engaged in a healing journey, that I know I have healed in a way that has tangible evidence. I am engaging with my family with the wisdom of an elder, and the elders are the ones who are behaving as children. It's so weird. It's a very Benjamin Button scenario, but it's like, I have to understand that like I earned my place. I earned my place in my practice because of the wisdom that I have acquired through my experience of changing myself, of transmuting my pain into power, of choosing a different way of being when I was forced with unhealthy patterns, choosing different patterns, you know? It's hard, you know? It's really hard. I feel so much stress because my mom used to drink and I had a lot of responsibilities, but now I have some weight off my shoulders and I can just relax and rest. Yeah, dude, that's really hard. I was in a very similar situation. I had to act like a 31-year-old when I was 13, and now I feel like I'm like gonna be 31 soon, and like I literally feel like a child. And the thing is that I've learned, and my guardians are telling me right now, the chat needs to hear this, for anyone who's especially suffered in their childhood, they feel like their childhood was taken away from them, that the magic was taken away from them in their childhood. They didn't get to experience that because it was just trauma and bullshit from their parents and trying to figure out how to survive. You get to be a child for the rest of your life if you make it. If some of you guys are in a position where you struggle with wanting to unalive, or you struggle with being on the planet because of the state of everything, my guardians are telling me that you get to be a child for the rest of your life. And the only thing that's going to start that for you right now, right here, today, in this moment, as you hear these words or otherwise, is you believing that it's possible for yourself. You know? Everything is ready to help you. Everyone is ready to help you. Humanity's ready to heal, guys. It's time to have hope. You know, hope, having hope is a radical act. You know? Please, if you can, consider donating to help a family that I am sponsoring in Gaza evacuate. Please click the link in my channel. I've been having issues having the link in my live video descriptions. It's getting them flagged and not as pushed in the algorithm. And I'm trying to get this to as many people as possible. So please click the link in my channel and donate if you can. If not, simply share the link. Make like a post on your story, or make like a TikTok, or make a like YouTube or something, or leave comments and likes, not only on this video, but just any way you can help would mean a lot to me. Otherwise, you can subscribe to be a member on the channel if you want to see more content like this. And if you want to learn how to have better magic in your life and better spells and better witchcraft, then click the link in my description of this video to get the blueprint of what I use in my day-to-day life and how I have had success in my magic. You know, I needed it. I needed that. Yeah, I'm so happy. I had to think about that for a while. I have been told I'm not here to save anyone. You know, you can think about that, but like for me, I feel like I'm here to save everyone through saving myself and sharing my story. And that's just my way. You know, everybody has their part to play in the building of like a better world for everyone, and it looks different for everybody, and that's why everybody has to like really just tap in with who they are and tap in with themselves and understand to have faith in the direction that their hearts are pointing them in, and have faith in their spirit teams to guide them, and have faith in themselves to interpret their messages and to act accordingly, because you can do it. You guys can do it. You guys are capable. I'm so proud of you. Every single day I'm seeing you guys do incredible things. I watch you guys. I am subscribed to a lot of you guys. I love you guys so much. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always encouraging you. Always excited to see your guys' growth. I'm so afraid to be here right now. It hurts. I want my clients to have the results they paid for, but it starts within me for me to get those results they seek. You know, like, it's really hard to be here sometimes, but like in the days that we don't feel good enough, or that we feel like we're not showing up enough, sometimes we just have to radically define that we are and tell ourselves the proof of why. Sometimes I have to remind myself the proof of why I'm actually doing a good job is because I'm getting, you know, for me, I'm getting comments every single day. You know, the proof that I'm doing real work on healing myself is that my relationships have radically transformed to where like nobody's trying to avoid me now. People want to spend time with me. They love to spend time with me. They're always asking about me instead of complaining about me. That's how I know I'm doing the right thing. You know, pay attention. You know, you have to sometimes really work hard to find where it's working, but you have to choose to look. I had to think about that for a while As I've been told, I'm not. Oh, I already read that. Sorry. I've got to go. Thank you, Azura. Love your content. If you make more shorts, I'll be a reoccurring fan. Don't worry, we got shorts coming. Lives, we're just kind of getting into the swing of the daily dose of Dragon Feather lives. So we have that habit already built up before we start, you know, posting all of the other content, so I don't burn out and get overwhelmed, because I do kind of have some chronic illnesses that overwhelm me sometimes. T-Man, hey, thanks for showing. Thanks for joining the live. Just showed up. What's up? We're just chatting about why your magic, your spells, and your witchcraft sucks. The reason I felt resistance to the idea of protect what's precious is because I didn't see myself as precious and thought I would be sacrificed in the process. No. That's one of the biggest, maybe I'm wrong for assuming that you're a guy because of your profile picture. But that's kind of a huge, problem with the patriarchy and the way that our society is set up. It's set up to where, like, men are seen as, like, expendable and, like almost like sacrificial tools. They're just bodies, meant to serve and protect, I guess, if that makes sense, which is just so sad, because a lot of little boys are never allowed to experience being precious. And when they are experiencing being precious, they're, like, shamed for it, or, like, told they're not manly enough, or told that they're gay, or told that, like, you know, they're losers, or they're pansies, or, like, you know, things like that. And, like, that can really create an illusion of separation between, like, people who identify with the masculine or with, like, being a man. There becomes this, like, chasm between being a man and being precious, and that's, like, not true. Like men have a right to be precious and feel precious. That doesn't make you gay, that doesn't make you a pansy, that doesn't make you weak. No. I'm so sorry if you feel that way. Parts of you might be sacrificed in the process, but you as a person, as a man, will not be sacrificed in protecting what's precious. Please don't believe that. Please don't believe that. I think they didn't like that I didn't always follow their rules, and that was their way of trying to knock me down. Yeah, dude, like, I stopped following people's perspectives and rules for me, and the trash took itself out. I didn't have to do anything. People just glitched and they couldn't be around me anymore. They were like, nope. Can't do that. And now the people who love that and who are inspired by that, those are the people who are around me. And the people who kind of had toxic traits too, they kind of, like, realized that, and now they're the ones who apologize to me, and they're the ones who are working on themselves, and they're the ones who want to be better. You know? It's crazy how fast that just, like, reverses sometimes when you radically prioritize the betterment of you. Everyone has their own path. Some people are builders, some are destroyers. It's the way of things. You know, I kind of disagree with that. I feel like everybody has their own path through the spectrum of destroying, of building. Life is a cyclical process of destruction and creation. You know, it's a transmutation of who you are, you know, of the energy you have, of something that is into something that is different, you know? Like, you can't create or destroy necessarily. You can't build or destroy necessarily, because energy can't be created or destroyed, and everything is energy, you know? Like, it can only be transformed, or transmuted. So when you look at it that way, plus everything that happens in this world is objectively neutral, you know, you have to understand that destruction in and of itself is another form of creation. You know, it's a form of transmutation. You know, destruction can be a very permanent and a very abrupt way of, you know, transforming something. But sometimes it can be for the better. And sometimes it's an easy way to do bad things. But at the end of the day, like, there is no right and wrong unless you define something as right or wrong. And sometimes it's a good thing to define something as wrong. You know, sometimes it's a good thing to define something as right, and sometimes it's a good thing to disregard that concept at all costs. It just depends on the context. It just depends on the situation at hand. It just depends on the moment of now that you are experiencing for your reality. And knowing the difference is what's going to make your magic more successful or not. Knowing the difference is what's going to make your spells be good or suck. Knowing the difference is what's going to make your witchcraft be the most powerful, masterful, like, arcane art that you could possibly have created for yourself, or be the most detrimental part to your mental health. It's really that important. You mentioned a link. Is it a workshop thing you use? If so, how much is it? ASMR Witch. I'm only talking about my worksheets. It's only $3.69 if you're interested in my worksheet. It is my manifestation mindset worksheet. It's just the link down in the description below of this video. And it's on my website, azuradragonfeather.com/shop/manifestation-mindset-worksheets. It's literally just the formula I use to navigate my reality now in a secure way that's detached from everything else happening around me, that reminds me to do what I want to do and gives me the tools that I need in order to create the reality that I have now. And now I have the dream life that I've always wanted, and it feels like magic, and everyone looks at me and always asks me, how did you do it? And my family asks me, how did you do it? That's what this worksheets that I'm talking about, the bundle in the description of this video, it's literally just the way that I have really made a magical difference in my life. I give you the tools that I have had to learn through trial and error, so you don't have to go through that grueling fuckery that I had to go through to get it. You can just learn from what I learned and start implementing it today. You know, you'd be surprised how just perceiving your reality and choosing to engage with it a little bit differently moment to moment, the second you stop watching this video, or the second you get those worksheets, or the second you just hear this, you know, message, it really can change for you. Like, you know, it's allowed to change overnight if you believe. You know, like, we live in a world of possibilities, you know? It's so important. I thought, my spellcraft is fine, thank you. I am a being without limit. Yeah. You know, you're only limited unless you think you're limited. But you know what? I know this might be kind of confusing, but thinking that you're unlimited can also in itself be a limit to your growth. So please be aware that everything is connected and of each other, and too much of something is also a way to get into bad, is like a portal into bad stuff, right? You know, because it has to be in alignment, in harmony, you know, at least for my life. I have my attention. You have my attention with the worksheets. Fred's Dimension, that's really sweet. I appreciate it. The worksheets right now are $3.69 for a limited time only. I'm also going to post them to Etsy soon. I'm just kind of like working with my Etsy to kind of get it back up and running, so it's available for just more people. But yeah, it's digital, it's downloadable, there's 5 of them, and we talk about the laws of the universe. We cover things like quantum mechanics and how you can use quantum physics right now within the day, within the seconds of reading the worksheets, to alter your reality, because that's how quantum physics works. I study these things very much religiously. I am so fascinated by quantum mechanics, and it's very much a huge portion of my life and my magical craft now. This is why a huge portion of why your witchcraft, your spells, and your magic doesn't work is because you're ignoring science and the laws of reality. We talked about that a little bit earlier in today's live stream, but I talk about the laws, you know, like law of detachment, and how that has made me move like a master. My sister will kill me for looking at this stuff. Oh, you know, you gotta do what's best for you sometimes, regardless of what other people think. I have to take off. Have a nice night. Hey, thanks T-Man for joining. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Dodge Miner, listen. Oh my god, that's funny. Thank you so much. Pretty Dimension. Word. That's awesome. No, but it's true, because like, for me, like, it took me a long time to like get to where I'm at, but now that I am where I am, like, everything happens really quickly for me. Like, I've been able to keep up a practice just enough, and keep learning just enough, and keep improving just enough to where now I'm having like the snowball effect of all of like the rewards for like my hard work over the years starting to pay off in like one fell swoop. And it's like radically transformed my life in a way that I could have never imagined. How would I find a dragon in the astral plane? What your advice? I will make a video about dragons in the astral soon, but this is not the video for that. So Stay tuned, leave a like on the video for dragons in the astral plane, and subscribe if you're not already. I used your voice to charge my crystal. That's funny. But that's what happens, you know? Like, you can engage with your reality however you choose to. You can choose to have power wherever you choose to. And this is another reason why your witchcraft and your spells and your magic suck, is because you're not protecting yourself properly. You're not prioritizing your protection, and you're not prioritizing the protection of your space, your energy, your spirit, and like your, you know, your community, right? And by extension, obviously, the planet and the solar system, and it goes as far as you can conceptualize it, you know? But we're going to start with you. Yourself, your spirit, and your space should be the fundamental cornerstone of where you prioritize your protection, because by extension, you'll protect everywhere else, right? So, okay, for sure I am. Yay, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. Don't use other people's energy without permission, at Carlin. See, ASMR Witch. This is the thing. I am the kind of person that kind of operates in the morally gray area. Like, I'm not encouraging you to use my energy without my permission. I'm not encouraging you to use my energy with your permission. I'm not encouraging you to completely abandon, or I don't know. I don't really care, because like, this is what matters, is protecting yourself. You know, nothing can be done to you. Nothing can be done to hurt you, no weapon formed against you can prosper if you're doing the right things to keep yourself safe. So we'll definitely do a stream specifically about protecting yourself and your spiritual practice in witchcraft and in like magic and stuff like that, and in working with spirits in the spiritual realm. I think that's a very necessary live stream. We'll just break that down the next time we go live. But like, I get told all the time that people, you know, have these crazy concepts of who I am. I have all of these, I have like the most unhinged comments sometimes, you guys, of who people think I am, of what they do with my stuff, or blah, 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 you know, whatever. At the end of the day, like, it's actually none of my business. Like, my business, the only thing I'm here meant to do is I'm meant to show up in any way that I possibly can to help the hatchlings heal themselves, to heal those around them, to heal humanity by extension, and to heal the world and to save the planet. Like, and however that works, however that looks, is none of my business, you know, because at the end of the day, like, my attention is on me and my improvement and my healing and my development and evolution, and that is all that matters, and that is all that I'm focused on and observe in my reality. Therefore, that's all that exists in my world. Take that perspective with your life and your world accordingly. Some people have to use this mentality with being bullied. I know sometimes it can get very physically violent when you're being bullied, but please, again, you know, understand that you do have more power than you think you do, and it all starts within your mind, within your heart, within your body, within your soul and your spirit, and all of that. We chillaxing over here. Want a happier energy in my amethyst and obsidian? Hell yeah. It's disturbing. You need permission to use a stranger's energy. Educate yourself first. Thanks. Hey, I'm loving this debate in the comment section. I kind of like, I think it's cool. Both sides are kind of weird and funky and I appreciate your perspective, ASMR Witch. So I'm gonna definitely appreciate you for sticking up for me like that. That's very sweet of you. But how do you stop someone's love spell? Because I fear them. Also, I agree with the energy protection. I say chant in my head to protect myself from negative energy. The craziest thing I was accused of was white supremacy. That's, if you're a white guy, that's actually not the craziest thing you were ever accused of. That's pretty normal to be accused of, and it shouldn't bother you at all. If you're actually not a white supremacist. So that might be a hot take. I'm accused of white supremacy all the time, and when it happens, I'm like, oh. And then I try and like realize what's going on, and then I try and improve myself, you know, because I realize that I don't understand. You know, it's kind of like me as a woman saying the craziest thing I've ever been accused of is misogyny, but like, that's possible. Anyway, I digress. Dinner time for me. I've got to hop off for time being. Have a fabulous night, everyone. Oh, yay, the dragon hatchling emoji. You're awesome. Thank you so much for joining the live as always. It's so much having you here. I mean, if that's the case, I should just dip. My bad, my bad. Peace out, everyone. I don't understand. Okay, bye. I didn't mind either way. So I'm sorry if the comments scared you. I just don't really care, you know, what people choose to do with my content, you know, as long as you're not like, I mean, honestly, people have done some pretty bad things with my content too. Like, people are gonna do what they want to do. Like, I just don't really, you know, feel like, I feel like in my experience, it's become a very, very feeble attempt to try and control the way that other people act, especially through like shame. It really only works by leading by example and inspiring people to like do better. You know, like I think it just would make people feel better if you asked them, you know, like, hey, can I like maybe use your videos to do X, Y, and Z? Hey, could I use your voice to charge my crystals? That would be hella appreciated. But at the end of the day, you're gonna do what you want. It doesn't affect me either way. Love the glass of massive sandwich 69. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining the live. I'm not photoshopping your face on things, but you know, oh, I definitely have people who have done this. So that's fun. You know, people are gonna do what they're gonna do. That's my whole point. You know, this is why like your magic and your witchcraft and your spells might suck, simply because like you believe that other people like have power over you and have like can affect you. You know, sometimes that in and of itself is your greatest act of protection, is having radical faith that you are divinely protected, and whatever's gonna happen to you is gonna happen to you for your highest evolution. You know, like that is the reality that I experience, you know, like, and nothing anyone else says or does or whatever the fuck outside of my experience can change my experience unless I give them that power. I hope that helps. Made me kind of miss being called a Satanist. That stuff was funny in my opinion. I love being called a Satanist. But I also, I love being called like any sort of hateful thing, because like people only call you bad things. They only insult you when they have nothing else. You know, when people don't have an actual intelligent argument and they're like trying to like assert like their way of reality over you, if they can't do it with their words in like a respectable fashion, people are gonna resort to insulting you, to being violent. They're going to try and intimidate you or shame you. It's gonna be very like just low energy tactics, you know what I mean? Like, it's no one who is doing the right thing is gonna try and inspire you to be better. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really important to remember that, I think. Like, pay attention to like the way that like what somebody says makes you feel. Like, if somebody's telling you something, does it make you feel like you should be ashamed of yourself? Or does it make you feel like maybe, you know, like you're trying to, like they're trying to inform you about their experience? Because sometimes people can interpret that as the same thing. You know, some people might have such a huge shame wound that no matter how healthfully you communicate your needs to them, they're gonna interpret that as you shaming them as somebody in your life, as a relationship in your life. That is something that you have no control over. That is something that they have to actively like work on, or you have to accept them where they are and act accordingly, or remove yourself from it if it affects you too negatively. You could really break down magic in the sense of every aspect of your life, because again, as within, so without, as above, so below. It's all made of each other. You know, the quality of your magic, of your spells, and your witchcraft is of the quality of your relationships with yourself, with those around you, with the earth, you know, with your community. It's the quality of your magic is of the way you take care of yourself, is of the way you talk to yourself, is of the way you show up for yourself and those around you. You know, at the end of the day, the only one who can experience magic for you is you. You know, like, you can try and find it in a video, you can try and find it in a movie, you can try and find it in a drug, you can try and find it in a person, you can try and find it anywhere outside of you, but at the end of the day, It's only gonna happen for you if it's happening within you and from you. You know, like the magical experience is you. Like you are the magic. You are the spell. You are the witchcraft. Act accordingly. That's why, you know, when you isolate your witchcraft and your spells and your magic to like a specific way that you have to practice, or a specific ritual that you have to do, or a specific chant that you have to say, or a specific candle or like incense you have to burn, like that's when you're limiting your magic. That's when you're failing yourself, because you're putting the meaning of your magic, of your spell, of your witchcraft outside of you. Like, we use those tools to help us elevate what's inside of us, to help us connect to what's already inside of us, if that makes sense. This is something I needed to hear. Won't say why, but it came at the right time. Freds, that's amazing. I really am glad to hear that. You know, like, while I'm going to go pretty soon, because I'm also starting to have a flare-up and I honestly probably need some more medicine. Actually, I think I'm just gonna go drink some more medicine right now, so I'm gonna bring you for a second while I go grab it. Because, I mean, like, I'm gonna be home, for quite some time, tonight, just because I kind of took the day off. You know, I didn't go with my boyfriend to the music video shoot today. I went to the one last night, and it kicked my ass. Like, I maybe will talk about the horrible experience I had in the club last night, but it basically made me never want to go back. I will never go back to that particular location, nor will I advertise them. It was awful experience. Oh my gosh. So let me find my medicine, because I feel like shit. That's okay. Because, let's see. I know it's in here somewhere. Where is it now? That kind of sounded like old metal music. If you listen to Sleeping with Sirens, it was that little bar right there was definitely inspired by Killing Quinn. Thank you. I'm just gonna put you guys right here while I open my medicine off camera, because like I told you guys before, I'm not allowed to drink it on camera because it will get me flagged. But let me catch up with this chat right now. Yep, I use very few tools in my practice. Yeah, Twinkleplasm. I used a lot as a kid. It really helped me when I was younger, but then I like went through a phase where I didn't use like any at all, but now I have started incorporating a lot of tools again, but in the sense that like I only use really the tools that like just kind of like find their way to me, or that like call out to me, and I'm very blessed to just like be in a financial situation where I'm able to just kind of like splurge sometimes on things that I like, but I rarely do it, only when I feel called to do it by my guardians. And that's kind of like how I avoid overconsumption, as I'll only like buy tools now that like my guardians tell me I'm supposed to, if that makes sense. So cheers. I'm drinking some medicine off camera because I have no other choice. Thank you, YouTube guideline policy. I'm drinking some lemonade because it actually is strawberry lemonade flavored. So it is strawberry lemonade for the YouTube terms of service. So cheers, guys. Okay. Now I can put this away. Thank you for enjoying my little off camera situation there. Let's see. Let me catch up with this chat. I'm so lost. I got the worksheet. Oh my god, ASMR Witch. I really appreciate it so much. I hope that it helps you out a lot. I hope that it does. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to give a shout out to the agency that I work with now, because I have management now. I'm so grateful. I used to be completely independent, but I have found a really good management. So Ataraxia Agency, thank you for helping supply these. Not only they help with the website, but they help with the worksheets, you know, just help me doing the things, because I can't do it all by myself. So thank you. If you guys are interested in like learning about, what's it called? If you're interested in just like learning more about manifestation, let me know, you know? leave a comment on the video, leave a like on the video for that kind of thing. There's lots, like I said, lots of good things coming out this year, specifically in summer and autumn this year. And it really kind of starts with these lives and these worksheets and all of that, so I really appreciate for you investing into that. It really means a lot. I saw Sabaton and Judas Priest live. Interesting, that's awesome. That's fine, you take care of yourself. I was not thinking you going live because I was going to go live too tonight. Oh, that's funny. I personally need to go back and lay down because, like I said, I don't feel the best. So we're gonna go back and lay down, and then I'll probably just chit chat with you guys for a little bit before I go do my own thing. I'm probably going to play some video games, or I'm gonna go just like watch a show. I might order some food because I don't feel well and I don't feel like making dinner, you know. I'm very grateful I'm able to order food if I need it, you know. It's very much of a privilege, I understand. So there's that. But here we are back with Rayquaza Charizard. It is the best stuffed animal in the world, and I have the feeling it's becoming kind of the, like, what's the word? The mascot for the channel. Is, would you say Rayquaza Charizard is the mascot for the hatchlings? Because it's feeling like it these days. But yeah. I think I have one final message for you guys, actually. So here's the thing. I need you guys to understand that the definite reason, the fundamental issue, if there's one thing that you can take away from today's live to improve your witchcraft, to improve your spells, to improve your magic, to make them go from sucking really bad to successful nearly every time, if not every time, I need you to focus on your ability to breathe. I need you to be able to choose to breathe in moments that are difficult to breathe, in moments that you would rather lash out at people, in moments that you would rather hurt yourself. Excuse me, in the moments that you'd rather hurt those around you, in the moments that you'd rather make bad decisions, in the moments that you'd rather engage in bad behaviors, in the moments that you'd rather feel hopeless. I need you to remember that if you want to feel and experience more magic, if you want successful spells, and if you want to really master your witchcraft, master your ability to breathe and using your breath as a gateway to bringing whatever thing you're struggling with into alignment for your greater good. So I hope that helps for today. I'm going to go eat some chicken nuggets. That sounds delicious. I hope you guys are having a wonderful night. Thank you again for choosing to spend some of your day with me today. I really need to go lay down and probably order some food because, again, I really don't feel well, but thank you. I love you. You've got this. Keep going. We're doing amazing. Thank you so much for supporting. As always, please, if you want to make a difference in this world, go click the link on my channel page, my YouTube channel page, not the link in the description of this video, but go click the link on my channel page and donate to the GoFundMe if you want to help make a difference in helping somebody escape a genocide. So you are amazing. I love you. And yeah, until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky. Woo! Little hatchlings, blessed be, and bye. See you tomorrow.